Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Deadzerg and Sacrilege on Overgrowth, the latter edition. In the bottom left side of the map, we have the Aquamarine Protoss player. It is Deadzerg from Imperative Gaming, represented by that very nice octopus. And in the top right side of the map, we have the purple Zerg player. It is Sacrilege, also from Imperative Gaming, but his spinning logo is of an overlord reading the newspaper, probably while taking a poop on an expansion somewhere. I'd have to assume that is from StarCraft. So if you're not familiar with StarCraft, go ahead and search Carbot in YouTube, and you will not be disappointed. Hey, I got my voice back, everyone. Sorry for the NPR cast. If you were annoyed by that, I apologize, but that was the only way I could get through a cast, and I needed to because my buffer was running low on casts. All right, it looks like Deadzerg is going to go ahead and try to block the expansion for Sacrilege, his teammate, I assume, because they're both from Imperative Gaming. And he does. He throws down the pylon. Another drone comes out, gets another shot off on that probe. The probe's still alive to scout. Notices that the pool's coming down, and the extractor Sacrilege kind of forced to do that based on that pylon, blocking the expansion, but is going to try to expand over here at the third base location. Do I have a lisp? Third base location to the left of that natural. So it shouldn't slow down Sacrilege that much. Deadzerg, on the other hand, is walling off on this front with a gateway into the expand. We should see a cybernetics core and a second assimilator coming up in just a couple of minutes as well. So the question is, does Sacrilege use this early spawning pool to get some lings out to harass? This is a pretty short rush distance. You'll notice it's a two-player map, and the distance from here to here is not that long. You can kind of get slow lings down and start harassing fairly early. Production tab does show 2 lings on the way for Sacrilege. He's not overcommitting by any stretch of the imagination, but he might... Oh, he canceled the pylon. Deadzerg, you rascal. I didn't notice that. He canceled the pylon at the natural, thereby getting his money refunded, only losing 25 minerals instead of 100 that he would lose when it got killed by these lings about now. Lings coming down, chasing that rascally, worrisome probe away, coming in for that third hatch at the natural base. From now on, I will call the base at the natural, and the base at the third, even though that was not the order in which they were constructed. Does he have the stalker skin? Ooh, stalker skin. I think he might have the cool stalker skin. Or is it just the colors are just different? I don't know. In patch 3.8, the colors are just a little bit more saturated. It feels like I don't think I changed any settings or anything like that. Oh, I forgot to mention. Okay, I'm going to start doing a... Oh, he does have the skin. I'm going to start doing a cheesy compilation for you guys. I know that the LOTV guys do that still to this day. I don't want to steal our thunder, but I figured you guys have some fun things that would be fun to cast as well. We could kind of do just a compilation of cheesy games. I put an announcement out on Twitter and Facebook, but I got like 1 response out of the 500, 600 people that follow me out there. So I figured I'd get more of a response by announcing it here on the channel. So go ahead and send me your cheesy replays, whether you win or you lose, to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of cheese. We'll take a look at those. I define cheese by any opening strategy where one player is either going to win or lose within 5 minutes. So the person who does the strategy either wins the game or loses it in 5 minutes. It cannot continue past that point based on what they're doing. It's like a 6 pool is really hard to recover from. For a Zerg, a cannon rush, like a wholesale cannon rush from Protoss, is really hard to recover from as well if they don't win that thing, or they're going to win quick. So that's what we're looking at. So cheese at falconpaladin@gmail.com. Looks like a Stargate opening from Deadzerg with a Phoenix coming out, getting that Phoenix production beginning early. Faster Lord here from Sacrilege does scout this out. Is he going to see that Stargate? I think he did. Oh, he saw the Stargate. That is a Gosu Overlord for sure. For sure at this point. I've got to mention this is a GM level replay. Both of these players are GM level on the StarCraft's ladder. Probably in North America, if I had to assume. I can't really tell, but considering the fact that I email them both in English, that is my guess. Probe coming out to try to take a third base for Deadzerg. There are lings here, though, and that probe dies in about 3.2 seconds. Sadly for it, Overlord spread for Sacrilege is great, but there are Phoenix out. This Overlord heading home. He knows what's up. There are Phoenix out trying to kill him so hard. Phoenix count continuing to increase for Deadzerg, getting a robotics facility as well. Photon overcharge killing some of these lings trying to knock down this front door. Does shoo them away. They will be shooed for sure. Phoenix is Overlord hunting, as Deadzerg is going to go ahead and use that for that purpose. Good inject here by Sacrilege. What is Sacrilege working on? Has an evolution chamber. And, I mean, there's a lair. I have to assume Hydralisk Den has a Roach Warren, just in case there's any early aggression, but I don't know if there's going to be. If you see those Phoenix, it's really hard for the Protoss to get a big ground army up while pumping Phoenix at the same time. So I think Sacrilege is okay. Teching up at this point, macroing up at this point, trying to pick off yet another probe. They get another probe going for that third base. Ah, Lings. Lings have been so harassy in this game so far. They haven't done like a ton of damage, but they've killed a couple Lings. They've delayed this third base for it feels like 5 minutes. But the game's only 5 minutes long, so that's probably not true. And yep, Roach Warren there. Lair is complete. Hydralisk Den. I mean, this is what we're seeing in all of our PVZs is so many Hydralisks. Robotics Bay on the way for Deadzerg. That's how you deal with the Hydralisk, man. You get Colossus, you get Disruptor. There was a game between Puck and a Zerg where he went Disruptor against a Ravager Hydra Roach composition. It did pretty dang well. I'll put a link in the top right here. If you don't, just search for Puck on my channel. I think it's the most recent cast from him just a couple of days ago. So those of you who are dealing with Hydras as Protoss and struggling mightily, Robotics Bay is going to be your friend. That is my recommendation as Falcon Paladin. Extended Thermal Lance and a Colossus on the way. All right, so this is the first time you'll see Colossus in a PVZ in patch 3.8. We'll see how this works out. There are no Spore Crawlers here. What? Sacrilege, no, you saw there were Phoenix out. How do you have no static defense? He's just going to lose all of his drones. He's going to lose all of the drones here in the main base. Now he's throwing down a Spore. So those of you who say wait until the Phoenix show up and then throw down a Spore, good heavens, that was 8 dead drones. 8 could have been prevented with a Spore or 2. A Spore and a couple Queens actually should have been enough. Is he throwing down any more static defense than his other bases? No, not really. But there is a Hydralisk Den on the way here at the 6.5 minute mark. It's 55 to 58 Harvesters. Sacrilege has a lead, but he needs to expand again. And he is recovering from that drone loss by making 8 drones at the same time. He's getting +2 melee attack for his Zerglings and his Banelings and his Ultralisks. These Phoenix flying around just picking up transferring drones, willy-nilly, whatever they can find. Deadzerg being very active on this front. The Spore Crawlers finally coming in here at the bases. They're in weird locations, though. They don't really fully protect the mineral lines, but I mean, they should be enough at least to keep the Phoenix away from a certain area of these mineral patches, and they are going to fall away. 4th base on the way for Sacrilege on the top left. And Colossus production continuing out of Deadzerg. All right, Colossus, what you got for us? 12 damage times 2, range of 6, extended thermal lance about to finish, increasing the range from 6 all the way up to a range of 9. That is a nice upgrade. +3 upgrade there. Phoenix still hunting around, looking for Overlords to kill, looking for Lings to kill, looking for small groups of Hydras to kill. You know, 4 or 5 Phoenix can kill a group of 2 or 3 Hydras, no big deal, as they are light and take extra damage from them as they're lifted. But this bigger group of Hydras, which is around 12, much too scary for those Phoenix to try and handle. Overseer got a nice scout in. Does the Overseer see these? I mean, sees the Robotics Bay and sees the Robotics Facility. I'm not sure if he's aware specifically that there are Colossus around, but I'm sure he has to infer at this point. And there are the Hydras. Get out. Run. Run, Phoenix. And they're not. They're not running. Adepts on the way with Resonating Glaives. Another good answer to Hydras with their extra damage versus light and the DPS that they do. Adepts are a pretty good support unit as well, dealing with large groups of Hydras. So it looks like it's going to be Hydra getting the speed upgrade here, muscular augments for those Hydras. Hydra Ling. I don't know if it's enough. These Colossus are the answer, man. Look at them go, burning up those Lings and pushing the Zerg back immediately. Phoenix here at the 4th base. There's nothing for them to murder there. Again, Spore Crawlers. Okay, 2 Spore Crawlers here now at the 3rd. And are there 2 here at the natural? No, just the 1. Just the 1 here. And yeah, really keeping Sacrilege back on his back foot is Deadzerg, doing a good job of it. Colossus shooing them away. Phoenix keeping the army around to defend these bases that Sacrilege needs to keep. It's 72 to 67 Harvesters. Deadzerg has been macroing very well at the same time. He has lost 4 probes, but he's killed 12. So he's definitely in the lead on that one. Faster Lords flying around trying to scout out additional bases that Deadzerg might have. And there's a 4th base coming up just now in the bottom right side of this map of Overgrowth. Speed Lord getting taken down here on the left side by the Phoenix, doing a great job just staying active. See, Phoenix are the best when they're running around, finding stuff, not when they're holding still. Same with Mutas. Mutas very good when they're being active, holding around the map. Overlord trying to poop creep on this potential gold base expansion and does get killed. The creep will recede quickly enough that it should be clear by the time Deadzerg needs to use it. Hydra count getting a little scary. 34 Hydras on the field right now. Sacrilege is at 157 to 171 supply for Deadzerg, so he's down a little bit. I don't know if you keep going Hydra versus Colossus here. I know Colossus damage was nerfed, but there are 4 of them. There are Templar with Storm in just about 20 seconds. Void Rays here, I don't think it's a great choice against Mass Hydra, but whatever. And Blink on the way for Stalkers, of which there are currently 1 on the field. So upgrade choices, the kind of weird for Deadzerg, but I'm sure he knows what he's doing. And there we go. Viper's on the way, possibly to yoink the Colossus in. Oh, yoinking Colossus into Hydra Balls is a good way to get rid of them for the Zerg. We'll see if Sacrilege can use that effect well or not. An Overseer dies. Man, Phoenix have been so darn active. 6 Overlords and Overseer have died. 12 drones. I think that is all due to the Phoenix diligence and flying around and murdering icky Zerg stuff. Sacrilege just taking gas at his 4th base, not even really worrying about mineral income as he is sitting around 1,000 minerals. 4th base by Deadzerg up. He's going the opposite, only getting minerals and just now taking his gas. I think the longer Sacrilege waits here, the worse off he's going to be. He is maxed out. Deadzerg's at 198 supply as well. So these players at the 10-minute mark, very, very up on their macro. Fleet Beacon and 2 more Stargates on the way for Deadzerg. He expects Broodlord, but I don't know if we're going to see it. We don't even have a Spire out for Sacrilege yet. So he's going this Hydra, Ling, Roach composition with Viper support. This should be enough. I don't know. That Storms are really good too. How many Templar are 4 Templar with over 100 energy each? It looks like they're all around that range. Maybe get 1 or 2 Storms off. Photon Overcharge is up here. Again, Colossus just doing so well against those Hydras. They burn them alive so darn quickly. It's just the Vipers. There we go. Vipers here with Abduct. Gonna have to watch out for that feedback on the Tempest, though. Big old Storms. Look at those feedbacks. Vipers are useless. Colossus burning down everything. Zealots do not have charge, but they're to absorb some shots as well. Adepts coming around the backside to make sure that those Hydras cannot retreat. Kind of undecisive as to where they want to go with this thing and end up not trapping anybody at all, but full retreat here from Sacrilege. Beautiful hold with the feedback and the Storms by Deadzerg. He is now on the offensive himself. I don't know if he has enough to win this thing here, but he's going to try to do it. Hydras and Roaches. And the Hydra is trying to focus down the Adepts. Adepts doing a great job here. Colossus at the back, not being hit by anything whatsoever. And yes, these Hydras are getting melted alive. Roaches are streaming, and a better choice to be sure, but the Void Ray having a grand old time against all of these units that cannot shoot up. Queens need to focus down what they can do. Bringing in an Archon with the Abduct ability. Can't quite kill it. Yes, killing 1 and killing 2. It looks like Sacrilege might hold this just barely here, trying to focus down the Colossus, recognizing the threat that they are. They do end up getting killed. The remainder of these Adepts and these Phoenix here, not quite enough to deal with the Roaches with a +1 attack, although they are going to be as annoying as possible. Phoenix flying on back home. Adepts trying to sneak on up into this mineral line or something. I don't know. I guess, I mean, just going to get murdered there. So Sacrilege does manage to hold off the counterattack. Really going Roach heavy at this point. Deadzerg is responding by going for Void Rays. That seems like a logical choice. 5th base here for Deadzerg up at the gold, and a 5th base for Sacrilege at the gold base on the opposite side of the map as well. So these players are mirroring each other fairly well to this point. Resources lost about 9,200 for the Protoss, and about 11,000. Yep, about 11,000, 12,000 for the Zerg. So definitely hit a little bit harder as the Zerg players. Still no mineral workers here at the 4th base. Strangely enough, more and more gateways coming up for Deadzerg. What is he switching over to? Carrier. Oh, he's going Carrier. Oh, that's so fun. The Carrier. More popular now that the Interceptors cost 5 minerals each instead of 25. Also, the autocast is turned on all of the times. So, that should be useful in the situation where it's heavily Roach for Sacrilege. You gotta scout this thing, man. You have Overseers, you have Speed Overlords, you gotta see there are Carriers coming and get away from this Roach play. He is getting more Hydras though. 11 more Hydras on the way, some Vipers mixed in as well. The Void Ray is again a bit of a problem. There are 3 of them and a Colossus with a lot of Stalker. The Stalker is largely useless against this Roach Hydra army. They're just so much better, especially with +2 missile attack and +2 attack on here for the Stalkers as well. So pushing in is Sacrilege, trying to get that Mothership Core. Does take it down with the Hydras, but Void Rays and Colossus are here chasing Sacrilege away once again. We have all sorts of Adept harassment up in the 2nd base, up in the 3rd base, up in the 5th base, getting cleaned out, forcing Sacrilege to pull back to deal with this Adept harass is causing huge problems for Sacrilege's timings. 20 drones have been killed to this point. There's still an Adept loose in the natural base, and one here at the 3rd, and one that was at the 4th. As well, finally getting cleaned up. But man, that was 31 dead drones. It's 72 to 53 now. The Adept harass during that attack was timed brilliantly. Still going on. How is this still happening? Sacrilege, no. This Adept has 13 kills, and 37 drones have been killed. through this point in the game. Spire on the way for Sacrilege. Carrier count continuing to increase. There are three more on the way. Carriers here with this main army. Both players are maxed out, but I like this composition from Deadzerg a lot better. For sure, trying to harass from the low ground at this 5th base is Sacrilege, but no, not going to happen. Blinking on top of the army of the Stalkers, feeling very brave. Right on now, Hydra's trying to come on in, and what are they doing? Yanking in the Carriers with the abductability, killing one of them. Not able to kill a second one. Good micro there by Deadzerg, getting him the heck out of there. Sacrilege trying to come in, get some more shots off as well. The single Colossus causing some problems. Great storms on all the Hydras, though. Not getting out of it in time is Sacrilege, losing a lot of units there. Getting Corruptors, getting Hydras. Corruptors are there to deal with the Carriers as they do extra damage versus massive area units. Where are you, Corruptors? You popping out? Yep. I hear ya. That's the consume sound. I think that's the consume sound. Indeed. Yep. Versus massive. 20 compared to 14 attack versus non-massive. So Deadzerg really needs an observer with this army. Clearing out these creep tumors seems like a good idea. Setting Stalkers in, I think, just to free up supply and try to kill what he can. Recognizing the Stalkers are not as useful as additional Carriers would be in the situation. He does pick off a couple Vipers. He gets another one there. Oh, Stalker is more effective than Deadzerg could have ever hoped. At this point, killing workers as well. Can he get to the 40? No, can't get 40. Cannot get 40. Another Warping of Adepts on this left side, sneaking on into this 5th base for Sacrilege. The continued harass by Deadzerg has been very, very impressive. And he breaks that 50 count number. 52 workers killed. Everybody here at the 5th base getting murdered by Zealots with +2 attack as well. Continued harass has been the game plan for Deadzerg, and he has stuck to it admirably. Sacrilege trying to find that darn Warp Prism. Can't find it along this left side. He just barely misses it. Oh, he just barely misses that one as well. Adepts trying to come into the 5th base where most of the army is waiting, but not paying attention because guess what? More Adepts are sneaking up here into the 3rd. And here we go. Pushing in is Deadzerg. He's done enough harassment. It's time to go for this thing. The carrier count is huge. Void Rays burning everything down that they can. Void Rays, though, not doing as well against the Corruptors as they storms on top of all of the Hydralisks. Carriers burning everything down. It is 185 to 165, rather 65 total supply for Sacrilege, and Deadzerg gets the win. Sacrilege calls the GG, and Protoss is victorious in our PVZ today. Just beautiful harass. Great call getting the Colossus early, getting the Carriers late. And just, if you can kill 64 workers of your opponent with continued Adept harass and Zealot harass, you're going to be in a pretty good spot. That is my pro tip for the day. Keep harassing, keep your army back with storms because splash damage, Colossus because splash damage, and then Carriers just because they hit hard and they have great range. And they're very, very good, especially when supported by this many Void Rays and this many Stalkers. So congratulations to Deadzerg getting the win. Not easy to do these days in patch 3.8, but he gave us a game plan to follow and hopefully some inspiration to you fellow Protoss out there. All right, so that's it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.